Okay. Welcome to our coaching chat Zoom. We are on the second skill of our, let me see, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Okay, so we're on our second skill, which is finding prospects. And I know at times it can be a challenge. I'm trying to make this bigger for us. We're inside of our Team Extreme Facebook. And so sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes it's a challenge on where do you go find these prospects? Or the challenge may be, okay, I have the prospects, but how do I begin the conversations? Or maybe it is, I've got the contacts, I've gotten the conversation going, but I'm not quite sure how to transition into the Juice Plus conversation. Or it may be from there, how do I transition from a conversation into inviting them to be a customer, to be a partner? And so that's kind of the realm under this whole finding prospects is. And so we're going to talk about how we go about doing that. So I'm actually going to, let me go back here and show you guys where this is at. So we're in the skills section. Last week we talked about product knowledge. And you know what? I'm going to come back because I want to hear what you guys were supposed to do some homework. So I want to hear who did their homework. So we're going to circle back around to product knowledge after we're done with the first part of this. But today we're going to talk about finding those prospects. And first it starts out where to find them. So let me ask this question. Who feels like actually finding the prospects, building that network of prospects is your biggest challenge? Maybe put it, since I can only see about 4 people now that this is up, put it in the, leave a message in the chat section if actually going and finding those prospects are the hardest part for you. If that's the case, I feel like this is an incredible memory. And to me, this is more of a memory jogger. Literally every time, been in the business now 21 years, when I pull this up and I literally start going through this list of people, I begin to think of people, oh my goodness, I don't even have this person on my memory jogger, this person. How many people, by just a show of hands, how many, when you started reading through this, you came up with at least five names? Am I the only one? Okay, I can only see about 40 of you, but y'all raised your hand. So if you've not already done this, I guarantee you will probably find at least 5 to 10 people will come to mind simply by reading through all this list. You know, earlier Ann was saying, hey, as you were talking, I was thinking of someone else and I started texting them right away. And I love that, is immediately when they come to mind, that's who you want to connect with. So, you know, when I look at that first line of relatives, there are relatives after 21 years, I still haven't talked to them about Juice Plus. Shame on me. But, you know, not to mention all the professionals, the clubs, the maintenance, the friends, the acquaintance. We never truly will run out of people to talk to. I think sometimes we just get this in our head. Well, I don't, you know, I've talked to everyone. No, I guarantee you have not. So utilize this form, utilize this form, utilize this form. Okay, so we're going to go back to, hopefully you've come prepared. And I hope, if not, just grab a piece of paper and as names come to mind, I want you to write them down. But hopefully you've done your homework and you at least have 5 people. Because after we're done, I'm going to walk you through my 5. And then I'm going to ask you, we're going to kind of break it down and workshop it. So I did exactly like I asked you guys to do. I went through my memory jogger and I started saying, who are the 5 people I want to connect with? So the first person was, and if I look on this form here, it was on here. If you see landlords and tenants, this is the first person I'm going to reach out to is somebody who rented from me a year ago. And she's wanting to get into the fitness realm. And we've had conversations now, and I've sent her things. It's kind of back in my ballpark to follow up and get a date on the calendar. So my first person is going to be Geraldine. I'm going to call her this week and I'm going to nail down a time for coffee or lunch with her. I've sent her plenty of things in regard to the business. I've been dripping on her for several months now. And so now's the time for me to answer that when. So I know who. I can go back to my my kind of on my Teamsy, I track what I've sent her. And now it's when and where. Where am I going to meet her? And when is it going to be? So that's my first person. My second one is Celia Brown. Celia's husband did some work for me at my house. Awesome guy, lots of conversations. He put me in touch with his wife. I've connected with her on Facebook Messenger. I've dripped on her for a while. And what I saw with my own issues, I've done the dripping, I've done the talking, I've sent things, but here's what I haven't done. And I love how Carrie DiDiello always talks about nailing the sale. Most of the people on my list are people I want to bring on board as partners. So Celia's a young mom. I want to reach out to her and see, go meet her. She lives a little bit of ways away from me. Go meet her, whether it's at her house or in the evening or on Zoom. But I've got to start nailing down some times with these people. These are people who have said, I want it, but they've not taken the steps they need to do. And it's up to me to nail the sale, to finalize the process and get them on board. Another one is a friend of mine. It's a friend. Our girls were friends together. She's a doctor. She's went to an event a couple of weeks ago with me. She says she wants the product and is looking at the business. But once again, I need to finalize that, get her on board. And so my next thing with her is I want to go to dinner with her and see what's holding her back. There's something kind of holding her back, find out what it is. So what do I need to say to her is, you've communicated you want Juice Plus, you've told me what you wanted, what's holding you back? And it may be with her holding her back, she's not sure if she wants to be a customer or a partner. That may be what's holding her back, but what I need to do is come up with some good questions all around that. What's stopping you from taking that next step? And as I'm talking, it's kind of I'm seeing that this is kind of somewhat of a pattern. So that's three, kind of the same pattern, taking that next step and finalizing it for me. The fourth one on my list is someone who's signed on as a partner, but I haven't got her moving yet. And it's one of those, there's a book out called Crucial Conversations. It's learning to ask somebody to take that next step. And that's kind of where I'm seeing with all of these people, what's holding you back from jumping in and moving in this business. And then the fifth person is someone who I had conversations when my brother was in the hospital. He said he wanted to get he and his wife and his kids on Juice Plus, but he's not responded to my email. Said he wanted it in person, not responded to my email. Anybody else had that conversation? So now what I've got to do is sit and think through, okay, what do I need to send to him? Obviously, my last email, maybe it was too long, maybe it was too much information. So what if I shorten it and I go with a quick video? And so I know we have that brand new children or family starts for families video, beautiful new video. So I'm going to start with that and ask him to watch it and begin asking more questions. All of these people I've given a lot of information to. Now I think I need to shorten it and go and lead with questions. What did you think? What's holding you back? Do you have questions? And see if I can't start. And I've got 12 people on my list I want to connect with this week. in every single one of them, with the exception of 2, I've connected with already. So it's those next steps. What's my next step to get people moving? And we'll talk a little bit about that. So who's on your list? Have you thought through what you're going to send that person? Because I'm gonna popcorn around. I'm gonna ask some of you, so I hope you're prepared. When are you going to do it? And where are you going to go to connect with them? Who, what, when, where? You ready? All right, here we go. I'm going to stop sharing. Everybody's like, oh, shoot, I wish I didn't join today. All right, I'm going to look at who am I going to pick on first. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with Ann because I know Ann sounds like she's already been on it. And then I'm giving y'all a couple minutes if you're not prepared. Okay, Ann, tell us about the first person on your list. Who is it? What are you going to share with them? First, who is it and where did they come from? Where did you make that connection? What are you going to send them? When are you going to connect with them? And how's that method? Are you going to meet them in person? You're going to do a Zoom? You're going to invite them to an event? You're going to send them a video? Who's
Okay.
number one?
Jennifer is number one. She came to me, she's a counselor. She came to me as a client. I hadn't seen her in a couple years, and I have a big display in my wellness center of Juice Plus. So I always have them face that so they can kind of see it. So it's visual. And she kind of started asking me about my wellness protocol for people with COVID, because as you know, I've helped so many people through that, which I have added the Juice Plus to. And when I mentioned to her, because she is a professional, about, you know, what you do and how you've helped the team and how you've inspired me again with the COVID stuff, and that you make such amount of money, her eyes went bing. So I have a little bit of a cheating going on because I'm intuitive. So that kind of helps. So I kind of fed her what she needed really quickly. So I've already contacted her through Zoom, thanks to you. I've met her in person. I've talked to her on the phone. And tomorrow I'm signing her up.
Oh my, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was in 1 week.
1 week. This is,
And I sent her videos.
okay. What video did you send her?
Okay, so I sent her the brain one by Dr. Is it Mitra? I don't know if I butchered her name. And I also did the one about cancer.
Okay.
That's kind of a blanket as far as, you know, helping your immune system. And then I just sent her the not generic, but the one on Juice Plus, the Healthy Start. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One thing that Ann really said that resonated with me, she was paying attention to who she was talking to and kind of calculating her head. She used the word intuition, but really kind of thinking through who her audience was and how to connect with them, which I think is huge. And I think doing kind of planning out your conversations, what you're going to share, how you're going to do it, I think is really wise. Instead of kind of flying by the seat of our pants, I think doing that planning ahead of time is key, so that we're really tailoring what we're saying and what we're giving. We're tailoring it to what we think would resonate with them. So I love that, what you said, Ann. Okay, I'm going to pick on someone else. Unless someone wants to volunteer really quickly. Allison, I'm going to pick on you. Who's number one? And let's hear about this person. Where did they come from first? Wait a minute, you're still on mute.
This is a man that worked with Stephen at the bank, and we've had conversations about Juice Plus probably several years ago when he had a daughter that was very sick. But anyway, this was kind of an easy one because Stephen met with him and he said, "Is your wife? Are y'all still doing that juice stuff?" And what had spurred him on thinking he needed it was the Fox News advertisements. So I am going to send him, he said he wants it. He asked, you know, he said he was going to reach around to me, but I thought I would send him the Bridging the Gap, the new Bridging the Gap. He's retired. I feel like they have the money. And honestly, the other day I was looking at the Quad, the Protective Plus, and I thought, it looks at your first glance like that's a lot per month, but I thought that's less than what I pay my cleaning person to come once a month. And which is more important, a clean house or good health? So that kind of put it in perspective for me. So I thought I would just be a little proactive, because a lot of times people say, oh yeah, I'm going to reach out to her, and they don't. So I thought I would just text him and say, hey, Mark, I'm so excited, that you all are thinking about your health, blah, 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 whatever. Send him either that Protective Plus or the Bridging the Gap, and then just say, let me know a good time that we can chat. I'd love to answer any questions you have after watching the video. So that's my plan with him.
Okay, so I'm picking out the things that stuck out to me when you were talking, kind of back to my situation, and I'm wondering how many people on this call. We all probably could list 10 people we've talked to, but we never finalized it. Just like you said, and like mine, this is somebody you'd already talked to years ago about Juice Plus. Sometimes it's timing is everything. And if we're not circling back to those people who maybe put us on hold, we may be missing a really good opportunity, because now might be the time for them. So I loved when you talked about that. That was what's going through my head. I guarantee you, we all probably got 10 people we could go back to, and probably 2 of the 10 we could get started on Juice Plus if we simply went back and asked. So thanks for triggering that, Allison. Okay, let me see, who else am I going to pick on? Mara, I'm picking on you. Who's the first person on your list?
Sorry. As far as a prospect?
Yeah, either a prospect, customer, or partner. Yes.
Well, actually, I have a tentative appointment to speak with a current partner about how to sign on more partners. So
Okay.
we're going to do, she's excited about the Perform. I sent her the information because she wasn't able to watch the show yet. We're going to do that another time, but we're going to create some information that she has a store. She's going to put some information that kind of lets people know that Perform is here, and she's going to use that as her appetizer for introducing Juice Plus to her customers. And she's got, because we were talking about the 100-person conversations. And I said, in a month's time, I know you can have 100 conversations easy. So let's give you something that, as you're having conversations, your customers are coming in and out, you can just either put something in their bag, or, that says, ask me about such and such. And, or you can say, I have a new line of products that I'm representing now, and it's going to help you as far as your health and fitness. And, when you finish checking this out, give me a buzz or whatever. Cause she said, I don't have a lot of time. So I said, okay, no problem. We're going to do something real easy for you. So we're going to talk about what it is that we're going to put in her store, and what it is that we're going to help her to be able to either send or give to her customers really quickly. So that, number one, she can get her 100 conversations in, and number two, she can actually introduce these folks to her new product line. And she's got clubs of people that she's associated with, so she's going to be making contacts all over the place.
Okay, so 2 things you said that really jumped out at me, Mara. Number one is utilizing our different products and changing them up based on the person you're talking to. What's going to resonate with them? And sometimes like Perform opens the door, cracks the window. So I love that thought. The other thing is, I love the thought of having something to hand to a lot of people, just enough to get them thinking. And who do you know that has that kind of opportunity to do just what Mara is sharing with, that maybe it could open the door to bringing on a new partner for you. So those 2 great thoughts. I love the what and who that you just shared. Good Good thoughts there. All right, okay, I may have to pick on someone. Oh, Karen, yes.
Beat you to the punch. I'll do it myself.
I love it.
One gal that I've got a list of, I think 6 for this week, but one that stands out is Marie. She was a former neighbor who I saw her post on Facebook that she opened up a physical therapy practice downtown. So I can immediately private messaged her or text her because I didn't have her phone number. I said, congratulations on the new business. I'm so excited for you. And said a few other things, but then I said, from businesswoman to businesswoman, I think what I do might really benefit your business. So I didn't say it. So she bid on it instantly and then texted me back and said, what is it that you do? And of course I told her, I said, well, I work with the company that gave me my health back for my 8 autoimmune diseases. And so if you're interested, I can send you my story, which she was, and I sent it to her. So thank you for having that on the drop mark. Then I sent her the Bridging the Gap, and I said, this kind of explains it in a nutshell by a panel of physicians, which I think is powerful. So she said, oh, thanks for reaching out, and I'll look at them over the weekend. And so I'm following up with her today, and I've also invited her to an event we're having Wednesday.
Tons of stuff sprinkled through that. All right, here's one thing that right off the bat, Karen was looking for an opportunity. So much of the time we just say, oh, I've talked to everyone. I hear that, oh, I've talked to everyone. Well, if we think that, that's how we're going to behave. I don't have anyone left to talk to. If we have the mindset of I'm looking for that opportunity, we will find an opportunity. We will find, like she said, she's got 6. So that really stuck out to me, Karen, and something that I think we all can learn from. The other thing that stuck out was just little snippets. Don't give too much information, just enough to pique interest. We want them asking more. We don't want them like, oh my gosh, like a deer in a headlight, we've overwhelmed them. We just want, and I feel like sometimes I do that. So I loved that about the snippet of what we want them to do is to ask for more. And then the other thing is the fact that you do have your story already recorded. How many people have their story recorded? Your story, here's my story, whether it's your business story or your product story. Okay, Ann's got it, Sandy's got hers. Let's get those recorded. Let's get them recorded.
You mean a live recording, not just a, okay.
Well,
I have mine on a document with my picture.
Yeah. See, I think that's great that we could instantly share our stories with people. I think that's good. Even if you may be saying, well, I don't have that great of a story. I think you'd be surprised when you start thinking through why you take Juice Plus. What was it that made you decide not only to take it, but to share it? Let's really work on between now and year end, getting our stories recorded. And if anyone needs help with that, we will definitely help you do it. But let's do that. So we have a library of stories. If I'm talking, I know Shelley Black has a great story on inflammation. I know Sandy Dial's got a great story on just talking about allergies. I'm just looking at seeing names, and we all have great stories. I know Allison's story is about her dad's cancer. Karen's is about autoimmune. And Tish, I remember we were talking about a story and Brenda saying you got a really good story. So we all have good stories and we all could use each other's stories. So let's put that on our to-do list to get our stories down, get them recorded, and let's start sharing them. Ann.
You're muted, Ann.
You're muted. You're still muted, Ann. All right, I'm gonna let you figure out getting unmuted.
And
And
I
then-
want to interject one thing, Sandy.
Yes.
I loved, Maura, when your team member came to you and said, I don't have a lot of time. What I loved is that you immediately said, we'll make it easy. You immediately heard her, didn't make a big deal out of it. Here's the answer. And I mean, just when she said that, and in your response, it was like everything inside me relaxed, because I think that's our gift. I mean, that's what our gift to them is, because nobody really knows what they're doing, but you immediately made it easy for her. That's really cool.
Thank you.
No wonder you're a great leader.
Oh,
Good.
the plus and Juice Plus. I learned it from you guys.
Love it. We're the plus and Juice Plus. And what were you going to share?
What I was going to say was, if we could all maybe condense our story, like you said, somebody was inflammation, somebody was cancer. I think that would give us ideas and keep it in our head, but actually true story. So it's going to be heartfelt, which is going to help us remember it, I feel. Maybe we could also do that on our private Facebook that we have, your Facebook page. I mean, just an idea,
Yeah.
a short story so we can all kind of go, oh, wow, it did that for her. So
Yeah.
we can actually refer. I like when I talk to my clients to be able to say, I have a friend that used Juice Plus, because it makes it more authentic. And we are all friends, right? We're on the same team.
Absolutely.
So I think maybe posting a couple times a week, some of our stories. I'm just saying, it's just a suggestion.
I think
Anyway.
it's a good one. I
Okay.
really do. So maybe we'll work on that. And really, we've kind of started it before, and I have some already saved. So we're going to keep on expanding this and getting this so we have a nice library of stories.
Cool.
All right, we're right at 1 o'clock. So let me ask, let me just hear from you guys. I'm going to hear from some people who we haven't heard from yet. I'm looking at you, Cheryl Nash. So tell me here and kind of how we've got this laid out, who, what, when, where. Was that helpful? And can you add anything to kind of what's already been shared personally?
Yeah, it's absolutely helpful. And it makes it, it's all in one spot for me to, go through and check off. So, and you're right, when you look at who, you start thinking about who. So I've already thought of 2 trainers that that are already dealing with people who are trying to get healthier. And honestly, I want to make personal visits with them. I just feel better. I feel like that's going to be more my style, is to get in person with them and get a few minutes to talk, and then kind of send some videos and things like that. So
Kind of get the conversations going. And I think having the new Perform product is a great conversation opener if you're talking with some trainers. I think that's some great points there. Is sometimes before we start sending anything, I love Cheryl's comment, is we have to have the conversation. We got to make the connection to move into the conversation. So I think that's an excellent point. Okay, so does everybody on here have at least 5 names of people you're going to talk with this week? Let me see, either if you're not showing your face, let me see the electrical hand go up. Or if your face is shown, let me see your hands. You got 5 names. All right. Make sure nobody's jumping off before they raise their hand. All right. That is our goal. 5 who's, 5 what's, 5 wins, and it should be someday this week, and 5 where. Where am I going to connect with them? In person, Facebook, Instagram, text message, phone call, Zoom, invite to an event. I mean, there's so many different avenues for us to connect with people. We just have to commit to the connections. So, all right, let's go ahead and stop the recording.